Hello everyone, welcome to the Earth Tones Girl channel. My name is Denise and this is Vlogmas 2023. So, a little confession here, everybody. Today is December 19th, it is Tuesday, and this episode was supposed to have been aired or uploaded on Sunday. But this is the stage in Vlogmas where I am usually a dropout. Why? Because we get so close to Christmas. I'm usually all rosy and shiny and excited for the first two episodes. And then by the time I get to the third episode, which is usually right before Christmas, that's when things start to feel a little overwhelming. I start to feel a little stressed. I start to feel a little pressured about all the things that I have to do, and I don't have time to focus on the things that I want to do. And something always gets kicked to the curb, and that is Vlogmas. But that said, I've been trying very, very hard to take a lot of deep breaths. I've been trying to, oh, here comes the sun. Yay, yay, it's shining on me. I've been trying hard to take a lot of deep breaths and focus on what is important, not just important for the season and for my family, but honestly, what's important to me. And that, quite honestly, is being here. So I am making the effort. I'm really making the effort to be here, to celebrate with all of you. And here I am. It will be a bit of a shorter episode. First thing there's a lot to talk about, but the first thing to talk about is it is staggering what little knitting I got done this week. I was so busy, or this past week, I was so busy with things at the kids' schools. There was a big Christmas fair at my son's school and a lot of prepping for that. My daughter had an event at her school, and I am on the PTA of both. Yes, I am that overly ambitious mom. But I do enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. And I'm not going to make excuses for it. I love being available and I love participating and I love helping because I really love the schools that they're in. So if I can do my part to help them succeed, then I will definitely do that. That said, it takes up a lot of time. So, what else did I do last week? I feel like last week was a blur. I had family in town, so I had some errands to run for my aunt. She's a little bit older, and it just felt overwhelming. And then all the shopping. I don't like to shop. I'm in the minority, I think, in that area. I can't stand shopping. I can't stand spending money. I love to see money coming in. I don't like to see it going out. And this time of the year, there is a lot of money going out the door. And I try not to let it overwhelm me because I do know that it serves a purpose. But it can just feel like a lot. But anyway, let's reframe. As my dear friend Mars, who is Hey Brownberry, as she says, reframing is really good. And again, my goal was to really stick with this and to be here. And I'm here. Yay! Short episode or not, I'm here. And your response to last week's episode was just amazing. And thank you so much for watching and for being here with me, and spending some time in this little kind of oasis, I like to call it. And then again, circling right back again, it's another reason why I wanted to do it, because this brings me so much joy and I really love recording. I love it. I love being here. Anyway, so I don't think I said the word busy. Last week was very productive. I like to use words have power and I like to use positive words. Busy sounds like I'm my anxiety level is here and like I'm frantic and having a hard time focusing. That's definitely not what was happening. I was very productive and I got a lot done. It's just, it was more of what I had to do than of what I wanted to do. So, let me share a couple of things that I did do this past week with you. One of which was I made toffee. I make it every year. Sometimes I donate it to the Christmas fair at my son's school so that it can be sold. Many times I just give it as teacher gifts and hostess gifts and gifts to neighbors, things like that. People that I want to celebrate the season with. But again, you just can't buy gifts for everyone. And sometimes it's not about the gift, it's more about the thought. People knowing that you're thinking about them, especially at this time of the year. So I made toffee and I'm going to show you how I did it. Let's watch. Hi everybody. So let's make some toffee together. This is a really quick and easy recipe. I discovered this, I think on Pinterest a few years ago. I will link the recipe. I'll see if I can find the recipe. If not, I'll just write it out in the show notes for you. It's super duper simple. You are going to need 2 cups of sugar and 2 cups of butter. So what is that, a pound of each? And that's it. Just dump it in the pot and just wait, stir a little bit and wait till it's the right color. And then you pour it onto a foil lined baking sheet. Let's make it together. And it's the perfect gift for any and all occasions, hostess gifts, teacher gifts, anything like that, or just for yourself and your family. So let's make it together. So my butter is in. Let's grab the sugar. Let's pour that in. Okay, and I'm going to stir. Actually, I'm going to let it sit for just a little bit and start to melt. And then we'll stir a little bit. So my amazing daughter has joined me. She's a little camera shy, so we're just going to focus on her hands right now. Say hi, Kira. Hello. So as you can see, she is just starting to gently stir the butter and sugar together. But the action doesn't really start until everything has melted, so we're still stirring. And you see how a little bit of oil has pooled a little on the top? Just the butter's pooling. You really want to keep stirring at this point to incorporate that as much as you can. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all blended. So as you can see, a lot of that yellowy, oily butter on the top has now been incorporated and it's this lovely creamy yellow color. So we want to bring this to a boil and then I will show you the stages and then the actual color. You want to get to a deep, rich caramel color and that's when you want to pour it out and it's ready. So let's keep going. So look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Once it gets to a nice slow bubble like that, you don't have to keep stirring. So right now I might stir, once every, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, just to make sure the bottom isn't scorching too badly or scorching at all. But it's still not quite at the right color yet. I gotta wait a little bit longer. And it's ready to pour. Look at that deep, rich color, everybody. Okay, let's get that over there. And there it is, all done and ready. This is so incredibly hot. So if you have little ones around, please, please, please don't make the same mistake I did. Keep it as far away from them as possible. I remember showing this to my son when he was really little, and he just reached in with his finger before I could stop him. He's fine, no lasting disfigurement or anything. He was totally fine, but it's very dangerous, because if this sticks to you, it will burn badly. So, but the fun part is it's done, and all I have to do is wait for this to set. And it's usually set in just a few hours. Here, let's tilt the camera. Hi. It's usually set in just a couple of hours, and then I can break it all up and package it up and send it off to some very good friends. So let's do oranges now. And there it is. It is so easy and so fun. You just have to be super duper careful, because it does get crazy, crazy hot. So I try to do it when nobody's around, or I constantly yell out warnings like, I'm making toffee, don't rush into the kitchen, because I never know if I'm pouring or stirring, because it has splashed and I have gotten burns. Not bad, but you know, tiny little burns. But what I realized I didn't show was what it looks like when it's all done. So I have some in a container. And there is my toffee, you guys. It is, I'm only going to take a tiny, tiny little piece, because it sticks in your teeth like crazy, which is what good proper toffee should do. It should be chewy and sticky and delicious, and this is all of the above. It is a really, really simple recipe. As I said in the previous video, it is 2 cups of sugar and 2 cups of butter, which I think is a pound of each, and dump it all in the pot, and then you saw the rest. And then once I pour it out, once it's dry, once it, not dries, but once it gets solid and cools down, then I just get in there with a little mallet, or sometimes just my own fist, and I break it up, and it looks like that. Yummy. So I will leave the directions for that down below for you, and give it a try. It's really, really fun. And the butter makes a big, big difference. Experiment with the butters that you use. You may find one behaves or makes the toffee taste a little better than another. So definitely experiment. So moving on, something else that I did that I wanted to share with you all is drying oranges. They are so, they make aside from them just being beautiful and looking very stained glass-ish in your windows, or you can give them as ornaments, you can give them, what I like to do sometimes is put a little ribbon on them and put them on each person's plate for Christmas dinner, and then they can take them home and hang them in their windows. And it's really simple. It sounds very Martha Stewart. And yes, I did work for Martha Stewart, but we'll talk about that another time. I worked for her many moons ago, but it does have that Martha Stewart, do you really have to go to all this effort-ness about it? But it's really fun, and it makes the house smell amazing. So let's watch. So while the toffee is setting up, let's do oranges too. Have you ever made dried oranges? It's really simple, really fun, and they look wonderful when they're done. So I'll show you how to do that too. So my oranges are all set and ready to go. I'm going to cut off the bottom and just start cutting them about 1/4 of an inch thick. And I'm trying to be consistent in the sizing. If you want them a little thicker, that's okay. If you want them a little thinner, that's okay. And I'm sure some of you out there may not approve of how I'm holding. There you go. So once it gets to about that stage, I'm just gonna stop and put this to the side. I'm gonna nosh on that later. But here's the first set. Let's do another orange. Put that over there and continue slicing. Now these are super duper juicy, which is great if you want to juice them or just eat them, but not so much when you're trying to dry them. So what I'm gonna do now is pause for a sec. I didn't get my rack, so let me go get the rack and I'll show you what the next step is. So I've brought up my baking sheet. I have my rack put in there, and the purpose of this dual setup is so that the warm air can pass underneath as well as on top. They just dry a little bit more evenly. So now, as I said before, these slices are really, really juicy. So what I'm going to do is just pat them dry a little, just to get a little excess moisture off. Okay, so they look like just like that, and then just rest them on the rack. And I'm going to continue doing that until the rack is full. And then we'll pop them in the oven. They are now in the oven. Terrible lighting, but it's okay. They are now in the oven at 200 degrees, and I will flip them every half an hour for about 3 to 4 hours, or until they are done. Yay! And of course I have them here to show you. Ta-da! Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Here, let me turn it around for you. Oh my goodness, so that's one. Here is another. That one has a tiny little hole in it, but it's not about perfection. It's just drying them and seeing what they do. And there you go. And if you dry these properly, these can last for a really long time. I only recently, and it wasn't even me, my husband was cleaning up the kitchen. Yes, I have a husband that cleans. Which is good and bad at times, because what he thinks needs to be thrown away is not always what I think needs to be thrown away or tidied. So anyway, I just recently threw away the orange slices that I made last year, and I'm kicking myself because I really should have saved them to show you. But if you store these in a cool, dry place, I usually just leave them out in a glass bowl. Those that are not hung, I will leave in a glass bowl, and they last a really long time, like really long, almost a year. It's kind of amazing. Let's just look at that one more time. Isn't that beautiful? And when the sun, I'm so glad that the light's kind of passing through it, because it does have that stained glass church window look about it. Just lovely. So here they are. What else did I do last week? So this past year has been, and I'm just going to share a tiny bit about it. My sister and I, as sisters and siblings, experience from time to time, just went through a little bit of a rough patch. And it's just sibling stuff, it's sister stuff that I really had to show up for, and she had to show up for, to work through and talk through and all of that stuff. And I'm so happy to say that we have worked through pretty much all of it, at least for now. And we've just been spending a lot of time together. And one of her gifts, I'm getting all teary, because it's, you got to show up. You got to show up. And if you love the person enough, you kind of have to crawl through the crap sometimes and fight for it to make it work. And I feel like we both did that. And one of her gifts to me this year was going to see the Alvin Ailey dance company or theater. I've never gone before, and she got tickets for us to go. And it was such a special night. We were out, we were together. The show was breathtaking. Of course, I wasn't able to record any of it for obvious reasons. But it was just, amazing on a lot of levels. And if you know, my sister and I used to do shows at school, and we both sang when we were in school, and she danced. I never danced, but we both sang, and it's the spirituals toward the end, the jazz numbers, watching the movement of the dancers, just I, I don't know how to explain it. It kind of almost felt like a return home, for lack of a better way to describe it, and a return to each other. And it was just wonderful. Maybe this is all an overshare, but it was just great. So I will put in a little footage here for you to see, and that was my night out. So while my sister and I were out and about, one of the things that we talked about is the pressure of the season. And I keep touching on that a lot here because I feel like it's so prevalent and it's so overwhelming. This sense of feeling like you have to be Martha Stewart, and Christmas has to be, or whatever holiday you're celebrating, has to just be picture perfect. And it so doesn't. And most of the time, the gifts we're buying and the people we're stressing over buying them for, did that sentence make sense? Don't care. They really don't. It's not about the gift. It's about the giver. It's about the relationship between the giver and the givee. People just want connection, and they want to spend time with you. That doesn't work for all families, and I understand that and acknowledge that and respect that. It doesn't always work. But for the people in your life that you may be knitting for, and I'm knitting socks for my sister, which are sitting right over there, not finished yet. Will I probably finish them by Christmas Eve, Christmas morning? They're not coming over until Christmas afternoon. That's so Monday afternoon. I might be able to get them done in time, but if I can't, it's okay. And that's what my sister and I talked about. Just, I told her I'm making her something, and she's so excited that I am taking the time to make her something. Yay! And because she knows, she sees, and she understands what goes into knitting. She sees me knitting all the time. She knows the time that it takes and the effort that it takes. And she's just thrilled that I'm making her something. I don't have to give it to her on the day. And we both agreed, like we're still ordering things. Yeah, it's Tuesday. We're still ordering gifts, and excuse me, if they don't arrive in time, so be it. It's really okay if they don't arrive in time. Just, put a little note in a card or in a box with a picture of it, and tell the person that you love them and you thought of them and that it's coming. And another thing that's helped me a lot with this time of the year is looking at the holidays as a season, not just a day. That has taken so much pressure off. My family and I celebrate Little Christmas, or the Epiphany, which is January 6th. And for me, from December 1st until January 6th is the Christmas season for my family and I. So giving gifts during that season, my sister and I went to see Alvin and Ailey. We didn't do that on Christmas Day. And the fact that she gave it to me early doesn't matter. I was so excited to go. I was excited to spend time with her. That's what's important. So if gifts show up a little bit late, so be it. They'll still get there. For children, that might be a little bit pushing it. Kids kind of want what they want on the day because it's Christmas Day. I'm talking about the adults, the grown-ups in your life. And honestly, sometimes if kids don't know, or the parents of the kids don't know that you're knitting something for them and it shows up a little late, that's okay too. It's really all okay. It's all okay. So, that said, as I said in the beginning, I don't have a lot of knitting to show you this week. The socks are sitting over there. I will be working on those, but I did want to show you something that I wanted to work on and knit on this week. Were my Cozy Knitter 24 stripe Advent socks. And I cast them on and I started working on them and they're making me so happy. And, oops, hold on. Let's pull that out a little bit. And there they are. Let's get these strands out, make it look a little neater. There they are, you guys. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Let's turn these around. So Christine, who is the dyer behind the Cozy Knitter, she's the Cozy Knitter, she decided she's always done very distinct stripes. And I'll try to find a picture here to put in with you for you so you can see what she's done in the past. And they're always very distinct lines between her colors, distinct color changes. And this year she decided to go with a fade. And oh my gosh, I think she hit it clean out of the park. I could not love these anymore. And just to give you a peek in the bag, just so you see what's coming next. Can you see? I'll take them out. Let me just take them out. So that's what's coming next. That gorgeous sort of rose kind of color. And look at what I have to look forward to. Oh my goodness. And then if you can see right about here, the next repeat. So I think she got 2 full repeats in the full skein. So let's tuck those back in. What I've done with mine, and it really is just coincidence. With mine, I used the contrasting color that came with the skein, and I did 20 rounds of the cuff. I did a shadow wrap short row heel, but I was able to get exactly 12 color changes, 12 stripes, I'm going to call them like air quotes, 12 stripes on the leg of the sock. And I'm hoping to get the remaining 12, since it's a 24 stripe, the remaining 12 on the foot. I think when I hit that 12 mark and I've got all 24 colors in the sock, I'm going to stop and finish with the remaining white to finish off the toe, or like the little, what's left of the foot and then the toe. So I love these. I love these so much. So this is kind of quietly between my sister's socks and these. That's what I've been fitting in the quiet moments. So yeah, those are my socks. And what else do I have to show you? I think that's it. And yes, let's talk about that, because yes, I am doing them 2 at a time. I know I'm going to get that question. I am knitting them 2 at a time. I started them separately and then joined them once I got past the heel, because I really would love to finish these sooner rather than later. And doing them 2 at a time will absolutely get that job done. I tend to resort to this one, not when I'm in a hurry, but when I really want to get them done a little bit quicker. So that is, those are my socks. That's the bulk of my knitting. And I think that's pretty much it for projects. There's a really, really cute project that I was working on for my son's Christmas party, which is tomorrow. I made little goodie bags for the kids. There's 22 kids in his class, and I made goodie bags out of brown paper bags, and I made them look like gingerbread houses. I say I'm not trying to be Martha Stewart, but I sound like I'm Martha Stewart. These are things I've wanted to work on. I saw that on Pinterest and thought it was so cute. So I took the time to do that, and I really enjoyed it. I love doing crafty things like that. Between drying the oranges and making the toffee, it didn't feel like a stretch for me. It didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do this and I want to impress anybody. I just thought they looked really cute, and I thought the kids would get a really big kick out of that. So I'm going to wrap up by sharing a little bit of that with you. And I hope that you all are doing well, Thank you so much for all of your comments. Some people have been asking questions about things. Please keep it coming. Keep it coming. Put it all in the comment section down below. I will add links and instructions and stuff like that for you for the projects in the description box. Also for the little goodie bags, I'll put all of that in the description box for you under this video, just right under, because I've gotten a couple of questions. Where's this description box? It's right down under the video. Sometimes it's minimized and you see a little button that says more. If you click on that, the whole box opens up and all the info will be there, links, etc. So I hope you guys are having a good week. The next episode should go up on Christmas Eve, which is the last Sunday of Advent. So this Sunday, the 24th, I'll try. And if it's a couple of days late and it shows up on Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't think anybody will hold that against me. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Happy Vlogmas, and I will see you all again really soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you.